Sanibona nonke makhaya and welcome to this week episode of Scars with Nogotaba. This is a show that celebrates and embraces the power of survival and victory. Well, my name is Nogotaba Kazulu Nomangobo and I'm your host. So today's episode we are chatting with Andile Khanyile, who was able to turn his scars into stars by owning his story. Welcome to the show, Andile.
Thank you so much.
How are you? Are you good?
I'm very well, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, I can see that you're good. You even look good. I like that
Thank
shit.
you so much. Thank you. I try.
Okay, so basically this is Scars with Nogotaba, where people come and share their scars. So that paper that you're carrying here,
Okay.
it's a white paper. Please show it to the camera. Yes. So that paper represents pureness. This is the stage before your scar.
Okay.
So basically, you're gonna introduce yourself so that we can be able to relate better to your scar.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Andile, and originally I'm from Khanyile, deep down in a place called Andile. That's where I grew up. I studied engineering, and I ended up quitting it for art. So I'm an actor by profession, and I love what I do.
But Baggy, to welcome back from the break, we are still chatting here with Andile Khanyile. Andile, the paper that you are carrying this time is red.
Yeah.
Red, danger, difficulties. In this phase, you'll have to take us through your scar.
Okay.
How did it happen? Where did it happen? How did it affect you? So please take us through.
Okay, I think for me it is something that happened 19 years ago.
19 years
Yeah,
ago.
19 years ago, where I lost my hair. Losing my hair, it was because of a rash that I had. Randomly, my hair started growing a rash without me knowing where does it come from or what happened, to say. Well, what hated me the most, it was not me losing my hair. It was seeing my parents fighting for me, trying to help me, but financially they could not. So I had to actually accept myself, Guti. Right now, I will no longer grow hair. Of which it started raising questions in my mind. I started having questions to God and asking God, why? Why is this happening to me? Am I an outcast or an outsider? Why are all these things happening to me? Because when I remember, it was 2008, fast forward, when my parents were able to actually get at the money, but it was already late. The doctors could not actually help me anymore because the skin, my hair skin was actually getting drier and drier in terms of the tissues inside. So I could not actually grow back my hair, of which it really crushed me inside, in terms of my confidence, in terms of myself and me looking at myself in the mirror, of which it resulted me being called names in school. From primary schools, I was being called names, went to high school. When you thought it was over, the name calling, and then I went to college. You know, when you're going to college, you meet people from all walks of life. Some people actually feel sorry for you, and some people actually just laugh at you. Some people don't care. You know, that's when it's actually affected me. And I came up with me wearing a cap, so it was easy for me to just cover myself up. Yeah, that's.
So wait, how did your hair, like you grew rash and
It
then
was-
your hair fell? Or-
It was, the process was, it started as a ration because I normally cutted my hair. But for that moment after cutting my hair, I think it was a week later after cutting my hair, it started having a rash. And in rash, corner, some places my hair would grow back, but in where I had a rash, it did not grow at all, which we ignored it, thinking that it's something that will pass. A month went later with the same rash, 2 months. When we went and checked the doctors said, you know what, you need to do an operation as ASAP. So financially, coming from a background where you had parents that are not working, nobody's working at home, so it was tough because the money that was required, it was just more than 50,000 rands.
So
You know.
do they name it as a disease or
Per se, it was not a disease. It was just a rash. It was just a rash.
And doctors didn't know.
Did not know what was going on. Did not know what was happening because they said there are tissues that are blocking my hair from growing. Yes.
So I see that you have a beard.
Yeah.
So is it the head only,
I think it's
or everywhere that you have?
no. It's the hair only. It's only.
It's the head.
Yeah, it's
only.
only. It's,
By the time you had money, it was too late.
yeah, it was very too late. The time we had money, when my mother got a job, it was very late. It was years late because I lost my hair. It was exactly year 2000 when I lost my hair. My mother and my father got a job in the year 2008. They started working 2000. It was already 8 years later. Yeah, yeah.
Sure. I'm sorry to hear that, and I don't know what kind of a situation is that, but I think what's powerful now is that you are able to embrace it.
Yeah.
You are able to love it because I can see you now. You are without a head.
Yeah.
So that means you are now comfortable with it.
Very comfortable. It's a journey.
Yeah, that's really perfect. Guys, please don't forget to follow us on social media, Instagram and Facebook, Scars with Nogota. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Scars with Nogotava, and yes, we are still here chilling with Andile. As he was sharing how he lost his hair, this time around he's going to share with us how he overcame all the people that were insulting him, embracing him, and also not being by his side. Andile, the paper that you're carrying there is blue.
Yeah.
Yes, blue, show it to the camera. Okay, blue represents power, survival, and victory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So today we mark you as the hero of the show.
Thank you
the
so much.
survivor of the show, because you were able to overcome everything. You were able to also gain your self-esteem back. But now we want to know, how did you do it?
Yo, I would say it's by God's grace. It's by God's grace. I'm from a Christian background family. I'm a Christian. I'm a born-again Christian. So I had to actually look up to God. And you know, behind my door I've got a piece of paper that is written, I am wonderfully and fearfully made by God. So every morning before I wake up, after I wake up in the morning, I used to look at myself in the mirror and declare, I am wonderfully and fearfully made by God. Even before I went to bed, I would declare that up until I was able to actually gain my confidence back.
So it's the reading the word of God.
Yeah, it's a reading of the word of God, the confirmation and the declaration that I made until it manifested. Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow. So that's the only thing that you use to gain your confidence.
That's the only
Or
thing
did
that I
you
know.
go out there and like, okay, now I want to try and see how people are gonna react, or like.
After the declarations that I have made, I had to actually make a decision of me taking off my cap, you know, and just going. And me declaring that I'm wonderfully and fearfully made by God, it made me not care of what people say, because God created me in His purpose and His light. I may not know what is the reason of what happened to me, but He knows the reasons, and He always says in His word, He's got plans for us, plans to only prosper us. So I had to actually think of those things and regain my self-confidence and self-esteem. Hence, right now, if I could tell you, I wouldn't care if somebody would walk out and laugh at me. I wouldn't care, because I know the only person that might care, that must care, it is God. If God says something, then I take it and I work with that. But whosoever says anything outside of that, I don't care about it.
Wow, you know, there are a lot of people out here walking, hiding their scars.
Yeah.
Yours is tricky because it was, other people may look at it as like a physical scar.
Yeah.
Because it was right.
Yes.
But
yes.
it was also an
Emotional scar, yeah.
inward
True.
scar, because you were hurting. So it is powerful that you use the word of God you declared the word of God inside you,
Yeah.
and then you healed your scars inside you emotionally first, and then you were able to gain confidence, stand in the mirror and take out that cap and be like, yeah, see, I'm planted.
It is the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is true.
Thank you so much, Andile. This was a great conversation. And thank you so much that you took this opportunity to share your scar. I'm 100% sure that this conversation will change someone's life because of your courage, because of your power, and because of your victory. Thank you so much. This is Scars with Nometaba, and that's it for us today. Catch us next week.